Hello everyone, my name is Katie. I am the Introverted Reader, and today's video is today's video is all because of Kaz over at Cats at Camera, because she kind of hoodwinked me into taking part in this readathon. So this is my TBR for the Femathon, which is going to be for the entirety of the month of March. So yes, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books to talk about, and basically the whole idea of the readathon is to read books by female authors, or that have female protagonists, or both, or that are female aligned or non-binary or whatever. So just, give them more love to the ladies, So I'm just on their Twitter at the minute, and just ignore everything that's happening on the screen of my laptop. But this is a little bingo board that they've got on the Twitter account. So I'm just gonna go across here each row. So the first square is read a classic, and that's basically you can read like a retelling of a story, or like a modernization, or like a gender bent story of a gender bent story, like sort of like retelling of a classic, obviously as long as the protagonist and or author is female. Now for this I went with Cursed, and this is actually written and illustrated by two men, Thomas Wheeler and Frank Miller. And I know what you're thinking, girl, you're cheating. No, I'm not, because the protagonist is female, and it's actually supposed to be a gender bent retelling of the legend of King Arthur. So our main protagonist is Nimue. She is forced out of her community. She's an outcast, and she is basically tasked with finding the Sword of Power, and she teams up with Merlin to do that. And it kind of just goes on from there, really. I know that there was a Netflix adaptation of this. I heard that people didn't really like it, but I am excited to read this, and hopefully these two gentlemen do the protagonist, or do our protagonist well. So the second screen is read a femme positive book. And by femme positive, just like, we're not here to gatekeep, just make it as expansive, inclusive as possible. Just self-explanatory. Femme positive is femme positive. So the book that I chose for that is actually going to be as well my Introverted Reader book club pick of the month for March. And it's one of my most anticipated releases, and it's The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna. So yes, female author, female protagonist. And basically this is a story about this girl who's outcast by her village after they discover that her blood is not red but gold. And in that society, it is a sign that they believe it's a sign that you are demonic in some fashion. So she's outcast by her village, and she ends up teaming up with this other team of girls that are the same as her, that bled gold, and that were outcast by society. So I'm really hoping that there's some good like found family, sisterhood vibes happening here. So, and as well, isn't our girl gorgeous? Isn't she? So yeah, there's that. Oh, and the sprayed edges of this book. Like, let's just talk about that for a second. And the next square, BIPOC rep. So basically written by a BIPOC author about a BIPOC protagonist. And I chose Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. This is supposedly the prequel to The Hate U Give. This is about Maverick Carter, that's his name, isn't it? Yeah, Maverick Carter, when he's 17. And he's basically, his father is in prison because he was a former gang lord. So now Maverick has kind of taken up his mantle, and he's just trying to support his mom. And then he finds out that he's a father. So that kind of throws a wrench into the works a little bit. So he's trying to like get his life together and go straight and just be there for his baby and for his girlfriend and such. So, and I'm really, really excited about this because I adore everything that Angie Thomas has put out. So, and again, sprayed edges. Look at this. Anyway, the next row, platonic femme relationships. So like mother, daughter, sisters, teacher, student, something like that. Like a platonic relationship. And for that I went with The Girl King by Mimi Yu. This is an Asian inspired story, obviously written by an Asian author, about two sisters, one who is actually in line for the throne, but then a male cousin shows up out of nowhere and tries to overthrow her and whatever, so she kind of has to go out and be able to reclaim back her title and the people and stuff. And there's shapeshifters in this as well. But I'm really hoping that the sisterly bond between these two really shines through in this one. So I have high hopes for this one. The next card is just wild card, free space. Read whatever you want, obviously, and obviously, you know, female protagonist, female author and or whatever. And I went with Traitor to the Throne by Aylwin Hamilton. This is the sequel to A Rebel in the Sands. I read that in February, but you'll hear more about that in my wrap up at the end of this month. But I do want to continue on with this series, so I will definitely be doing that. The next card, LGBTQIA+ rep. So for that one, I wasn't entirely sure, but this next book is just one that I recently acquired, and it's the finale to a trilogy, and I was like, well, kill two birds with one stone. I'll just read this. Lightbringer by Claire Legrand. One of the characters in this identifies as being bisexual. She has mentioned numerous times that she's had both relationships with both men and women. And as well, in the last book, the second one, there was hints that one of the other characters could maybe end up in a polyamorous relationship. Maybe? I don't know. But yeah, I can't speak for the author, but I do know that one of her characters in here does identify as bisexual. So there's that. Disability / neurodiversity, basically book written by a female author that has maybe neurodiverse or disability rep in there somewhere. And again, this next one, kind of killing two birds with one stone here, it's good for this prompt, but it's also the finale to a trilogy that I want to finish. A Vow So Bold and Deadly by Bridget Kemmerer. This is a book with a main protagonist that has cerebral palsy. It is mentioned several times throughout the novel. It's not like out there, like it's not mentioned all the time, like it's not a story about her like, you know, it's not specifically about that, it's about, you know, it's a fantasy series, but, you know, obviously, you know, the rep is there, you know, I don't have cerebral palsy and I don't really have anyone in my life that has it, but yeah, this was the closest thing I could think of, because the last neurodiverse book that I read was A Kind of Spark, and I would love to reread that again, but I want to finish off this series, so. And the next square is non-fiction, basically read a non-fiction book written by a woman. So I decided to go for one written by a whole bunch of women. This is Feminists Don't Wear Pink and Other Lies, Amazing Women on What the F Word Means to Them. So just a bunch of lovely women got together, wrote some essays, had some thoughts, wrote some poetry about basically what it means to be a feminist. I don't know if I'll read this whole thing, if I'm being completely honest. I might read one or two essays out of here throughout the course of March, but we shall see. I am really excited because I do want to read more books just about feminism and just to really fully grasp what it means, because I have a very limited view of what it means, and yeah, I want to know more. And the very last one is Femmes Fight Back. So basically just a story about your main girl smashing the patriarchy and for what it's all worth. So for this one, I went with Queen's Shadow by E.K. Johnson. This is a Star Wars novel, if you can't tell, and I'm told that this is supposed to be canon. So this is basically the story of Padme. After she served her term as Queen of Naboo, she was brought in to obviously still serve in office. As we know from the movies, she became a senator. And it's really just about her, you know, starting her life off in office in the wild world of politics. And she also has her friends, her handmaidens there with her. And a lot of people within like the Galactic Senate and stuff are unsure of her. They don't really know whether or not to take her seriously because she's still quite young. But yes, I am really looking forward to reading this and seeing what Padme and her handmaidens and her friends get up to, and we're hoping that some form of a patriarchy is smashed in the process. So this will be the first Star Wars novel that I've ever read. Like, I love the movies, but I've never actually read a full-length novel set in that world before, so I'm really, really excited about this. So yeah, that is my Femathon TBR. yeah, I'm really, really excited about every single one of these. I really am. I'm really looking forward to delving into a lot of these stories. And I'm also looking forward to just like knocking some books off my TBR and reading from some authors that I've never actually read from before. I'm trying to see, is there any authors here that I've never read from? Mimi Yu is a new author that I've never read from. Namina Forna. Although I'm guessing those must be, are they there? Is The Gilded Ones her debut novel? I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, I'm really excited about the Femathon. It's going to be so much fun. I'll leave the Femathon Twitter down below so you can look at the bingo board for yourself and see whether or not you want to take part. Thank you, Kaz over Katsukama, for bribing me to doing this. So that means just come September, you have to do my readathon. So a deal's a deal, sis. So yeah, that's my video. I'll just exit out of here. Okay. So yeah, that's my video. I hope you enjoyed. I'll leave the Femathon Twitter down below for you, along with my own Twitter and Instagram. And if you are not subscribed to this channel just yet, feel free to do that and ring the bell so that you know my next video, when my next video is up. And my next video actually will be my February wrap up. And I can't believe that February is almost at an end. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you're taking part in the Femathon as well. And I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.